Observe the mist, that which clouds the mirror, that which hides a face, not a stranger's but your own. Do you truly know yourself? Discover the hidden side that controls your decisions. Think of your darkest impulses, those thoughts you sweep under the rug of consciousness, the explosive reactions you don't understand, the irrational fears that paralyze your steps, like invisible chains in a dark cell. What happens when a part of you, denied and rejected, doesn't disappear? It becomes a subterranean force, a master in the shadows, pulling your strings and weaving your destiny in secret. Carl Jung, the explorer of the unconscious, already warned, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Your shadow is not merely a concept. It is a living entity within you, a shadowy figure, a hidden ruler of your very existence. It manifests in repetitive patterns, in failures that insist on returning, in relationships that end the same way, in addictions that promise relief, but deepen the chains. Your life is a stage, and the shadow, the invisible director of a drama you didn't choose. How does the denial of your own shadow prevent your true individuation and freedom? It chains you to a cycle of self-sabotage, to a relentless pursuit of approval that never fills the void the shadow inhabits. If this provocation hit you at your deepest core, if you feel the cold presence of a side of you that you still don't know, this video is a brutal mirror, ready to reveal what lies in the depths, ready to face the shadow that dominates you. You weren't born with a shadow to be feared, to be hidden. You were born with the fullness of all your facets, from light to darkness, with the ability to integrate every part of your being. But you were programmed for purity, for perfection, for the denial of any trait that didn't fit the ideal. From childhood, society whispered the lie. Be good, don't feel anger, don't be envious, don't doubt, don't fail. Religion taught you to fear original sin. Your family molded you to be acceptable. Your heart was conditioned to sweep everything ugly or bad under the rug of consciousness. This is behavioral engineering in its most insidious form, a system that forces you to be a half, to live on a polished surface, denying the depth of your own abyss. You were trained to project your darkness onto others, to see evil out there instead of within, maintaining an illusion of moral superiority. Think of the negative reinforcement of exclusion. A disapproving look, social judgment, the threat of not belonging. Every time you hid a piece of yourself, you were rewarded with acceptance, reinforcing the belief that denial is the path to love. And behavioral finance bias brutally enters here. The pursuit of status, of possessions that make you seem successful or perfect, is often compensation for an unintegrated shadow. You spend money on luxuries, on appearances, on therapies that promise to eliminate negativity, all to maintain the facade, to avoid confronting the repressed side. Marketing capitalizes on this escape, selling happiness and acceptance as products, numbing the pain of fragmentation. Robert Cialdini, in his Laws of Persuasion, shows how social proof, everyone hides their flaws, you should do the same, and authority, gurus who sell the perfect life, are used to manipulate your perception. They sell the illusion of an ideal self that you must pursue, keeping you too exhausted to question the true nature of your wholeness. You were indoctrinated to love your prison of masks because it promises false control, a refuge from the internal chaos that, ironically, is fueled by this very repression. You feel a deep pain, an echo in the void of your own soul, a sense that something essential is missing, even with a life that, to the world, seems complete. Your mind is a battlefield where internal voices fight, the polished persona against the raw truth squirming in the depths. This is your internal fragmentation, the price of your soul surrendered to the denial of your own shadow, to the overwhelming fear of knowing yourself entirely. The shadow, according to Carl Jung, is the dark side you hide. Not the side that doesn't exist, but the one that was exiled to the dungeon of the unconscious. Your unexpressed anger, your silent envy, your repressed desire for revenge, your most childish fears, your capacity for cruelty. All of this was silenced, pushed into a dark abyss in the name of a good, correct, enlightened identity. And what you repress commands you from the shadows, an invisible puppeteer. It sabotages you in ways you don't even perceive. Endless procrastination, ceaseless addictions, disproportionate outbursts of anger, relationships that repeat in painful cycles. The shadow is your hidden master, a shadowy figure that projects its power over every decision, every step you believe to be free. Gabor explains that the trauma of not being able to be authentic, of having to hide parts of yourself to be loved or accepted, creates a vicious cycle of self-deception. Your own ability to discern what is real and what is illusion atrophies under the weight of a mask that has become your prison. The soul silently screams for this truth that insists on coming to the surface. You project your shadow onto the other, onto the corrupt politician, the inconvenient neighbor, the ideological enemy, because seeing the dark side in them, which is a reflection of what you deny in yourself, means facing your own darkness. It means dismantling the illusion of your own purity. Your identity becomes a persona, a well-rehearsed role for the world stage. You are not who you are. You are who society demands you be, a puppet of light that hides a dark, yet very real side. How much of your life is spent maintaining this charade? In feeding the mask that prevents you from breathing the fullness of your existence? In fighting against yourself? If this truth provoked you, if you feel the shadow's grip pulling your soul towards integration, comment below. I choose my totality, not fragmentation. You seek freedom. But why do you feel so empty? Trapped in a relentless pursuit of control, of perfection, even with all your achievements displayed on life's stage. The freedom they promised you was to be good, to have no flaws. But the denial of your shadow stole even the ability to be authentic. The freedom to show only your enlightened side. But the truth, in its rawness, chained you to a performance, to a facade that seems insurmountable. This is false freedom, a prison of light, where control is an illusion and existential emptiness deepens with every piece of your shadow you refuse to see. The system sells you the illusion of self-mastery, of a self without flaws. It transforms your pursuit of self-improvement into a dopamine trap, into ephemeral pleasure spikes when you manage to repress an impulse, or when you fit perfectly into the ideal. Think of the perfect self-help industry. It doesn't need to force you to be unhappy. It just offers a constant stream of gurus who promise to eliminate your negativity, of books that teach you to repress the dark side, of therapies that sell you a false enlightenment, and profit flows dripping from your denial. This is the capitalism of the shadow. It profits from your aversion to your hidden side, from your relentless pursuit of an ideal image, your time, your energy, your peace, all monetized by the gears of imposed perfection. Behavioral finance bias plays a brutal role here. How many times have you found yourself spending money on expensive courses, spiritual retreats, or products that promised a cure or instant transformation, just to silence the voice of your shadow crying for attention? The denial of your own darkness shapes your finances, turning money, which should be a means to freedom, into a tool to sustain the illusion of a flawless self. Daniel Kahneman taught us about the overconfidence bias. You trust that you can control your shadow, that you can eliminate it, ignoring the signs that it is acting in secret, sabotaging your best intentions. And the world of toxic positivity is the master of this bias, keeping you in a state of denial, avoiding any step that requires painful integration. Rupture is not the elimination of the shadow, it is its acceptance. It's when you realize that true strength lies not in hiding what frightens you, but in embracing every part of your being, in darkness and in light, without judgment. Authentic reconstruction begins in the silence of your self-observation, in the courage to feel the pain of your unexpressed anger, your repressed envy, your deepest fears. This stillness is what the performance society fears most, because it prevents control and demands a deeper surrender to your truth. Gabor shows us, the root of shadow denial is the trauma of disconnection from the authentic self. The pursuit of a perfect image is an escape from vulnerability. The cure is reconnection with your totality, with the ability to integrate what was exiled, to find peace in your own complexity. It is the silent strength that emerges when you stop fighting yourself. This is true disobedience. Disobeying the voice of perfection that wants you divided, the script of light that the system insists on selling. Disobeying your own self-repression. It is an act of radical surrender to your own authenticity. It is a choice, an existential choice. To abandon the false security of an impeccable persona, of the life that traps you in appearances. For the uncertainty of your own raw truth, for the risk of living fully, for the vast landscape of your own shadow, which holds secrets and power, an autonomy that is priceless. Because it costs your identity as a saint or perfect, and returns you that of an integral human. Jordan Peterson talks about the order that emerges from taking responsibility for chaos, of facing one's own shadow and finding meaning in the journey of individuation. Your life is not a stage to be performed, but a universe to be explored. With every darkness, every flaw, every pain, as a guide to your fullness. You will lose the fear of being imperfect. You will stop sabotaging yourself with projection and denial, because there will be no part of you hidden in the abyss, no vital energy wasted fighting internal ghosts, your soul freed from the prison of light, the shadow that dominates you, revealing the deep unconscious, Jung. Do you truly know yourself? Discover the hidden side that controls your decisions. Confront your shadow and unleash the transformative power of your unconscious. True freedom lies not in denying what frightens you, but in integrating it. How does the denial of your own shadow prevent your true individuation and freedom? It chains you to a cycle of self-sabotage, to a relentless pursuit of approval that never fills the void the shadow inhabits. You are not your mask. You are not your facade. You are not the imposed perfection. You are a consciousness capable of totality, of authenticity, of power, capable of delving into your own depths and emerging complete. The price of freedom is not speech, but the courage to break the silence the system imposed on you. The courage to face your own darkness, to embrace your flaws, to be your own raw truth, unfiltered. Choose your individuation, even if it's not light and love all the time, even if it makes you complex in the eyes of others. This is your deepest freedom, to be who you truly are, beyond denial, beyond the shadow that once dominated you, beyond the prison of light. If something awakened in you in this video, if the presence of your shadow seemed to reveal itself in your soul, comment, "I see beyond the veil of perfection." Share this content with anyone living trapped in the facade of being perfect. And if you want to keep breaking cycles with me, subscribe now. The shadow you avoid controls you. Freedom only frightened until you discover you were ready all along. Rupture is the beginning. Consciousness is the path to your full individuation.